Hi everybody, Scott Eblin here in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona at the JW Marriott Camelback Resort. I'm here for the annual meeting of a group called ISA, which is an association of learning providers. The Eblin Group's a member of that. And I'm going to do something different with the video book club this week. I'm actually going to talk about a book that I have to confess I haven't read yet, but I just spent the better part of the last 2 days with the author of the book, Bob Johansen. The book, as you can see, is called Leaders Make the Future, and Bob is a futurist, and he spent some time with about 100 of us who are in the learning business, the leadership development business, and other things related to that, talking about what skill sets leaders are going to need in the future. And I've got a proposition for you at the Video Book Club. Let's read this book together. Go out and get a copy of it. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it today, and as we read it over the next few weeks together, let's comment on it on the blog, and I'll send out some reminders to you for your comments and your perspectives on this book. But Bob talks about a future that is based on this acronym, VUCA, V-U-C-A, and that stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Again, it's VUCA, I think is how you pronounce it. Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. And if you think about the world that we're living in and the world that we'll probably be living in 10 years from now, that's a really great description of the conditions. Now here's one thing that's very cool about this book is you take the dust jacket off, and inside the dust jacket is a map of the future as Bob is forecasting it. He's very careful to say he doesn't predict the future, but he does forecast the future. He talks about things like diasporas, groups moving out into the world, civil society, what will we choose to do together, food as a big issue coming up, ecosystems, and the amplified individual. And then amplified organizations in that little orange bubble over on the side. There is a ton of stuff to process in here, and there's no way I could do it in 20 video book club posts, let alone one. But that's a pretty interesting example of how Bob thinks about the world and what's coming into that. He also offers a model of leadership skills, which I'm going to pull out here in a second. 10 leadership skills for the future. It's things like the maker instinct is what he calls it, is the ability to turn one's natural impulse to build into a skill for making the future, or immersive learning ability as a skill, quiet transparency, the ability to be open and authentic about what matters to you without advertising yourself. Smart mob organizing. If you've done anything on social media lately, you probably know what he means by that. So lots of stuff to think about. It's a mind expander. I had 5 pages of notes probably from thinking and listening to Bob. So again, the book is called Leaders Make the Future. I'm going to be reading it over the next several weeks. I hope a lot of you will take a look at it, and I'll start a conversation about it when I know more about the implications of the VUCA world that we're living in and are going to be living in. Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. That kind of sums it up. Have a great week coming up. I'm going to enjoy the beautiful weather here in Scottsdale, and I'll see you next week.